Seems like it's not connected yet. Oh no.
What?
I did not want to stream to Facebook.
You see the finish
Come
line
on.
over there? So far away. I'm getting close to it. Real close. I'm already there. See, I'm at the finish line already. You see?
I'm not paying attention. I'm just trying to do my own thing right now. There it is.
Over?
Sending data. There we go. Sending data. Let's go, baby.
Play?
No. You're funny. We are going to do that today, though, okay? I just don't want you to bug me about it the whole time. Because I'm in the middle of something that I have to stop when...
Play.
Don't keep doing that, please.
Yeah.
Okay?
Play.
All right. I didn't mean to go live on there, but... Let's see if we can find that title. Where's the title at? There we go. Copy. Copy.
What are those coins doing up there?
It's getting a little warm in here. Are you gonna get a Lunchable? Okay. Han, whatever that means. Don't know what that means, bro. Let's refresh our restream. Let's pause it. And go to chat. All right, I'll get started here in just a second. All right, that's good. What is going on? I'm just gonna close that window. Digital twins. Physical twins. Oh. Some people don't even know what a digital twin is. Let a few more people join in so that I can get some questions answered. Let's see.
Go, okay, go.
All right, we might add this to 2 more pages. Let's go link. Oh, Create post. And what's up, buddy?
Play in the bed when it's time to play.
Nah, I would rather do it in the living room.
No.
Let's go digital.
How about we do this? Play in the bed, please.
No thanks.
No. Let's play in the bed. I never got to play in the bed last night.
But that's not true. That's exactly what we did. We sat there on the bed. Are you done playing your video game? Okay, I'm about to do a stream. So, you can turn the light on and play with your toys for a little bit.
I want to watch TV though.
How about you go to Netflix on your computer? Yeah, you have Netflix, remember?
Yeah, but I don't want to be on Netflix.
Okay, well, I just don't want you watching TV right here because I'm streaming. So you can either play your games, play Minecraft or that, or watch TV on that computer. Sounds good? All right, guys, I'm posting this stream in a couple of feeds on Reddit really quick.
Yeah, I love this.
So digital twin on engine 5 on our engine. All right. I'm going to set this one to discussion. And I'm just about ready. I got a couple of posts to push to Reddit. And I welcome anybody to ask questions or just have a general conversation, general discussion about digital twins. Okay. We're all set. All right, so the conversation about digital twins can, at this point, go in any direction. Literally any direction. We're talking physical replicas, whether it be of small items, all the way up to the scale of large cities, smart city digital twin. Aerospace, so airplanes, spacecraft, satellites, anything that will go up into the air, creating a model or simulation to view and analyze the performance, whether it be of like a specific material, mechanic, and then you have digital twins, humans. So there is kind of the more well-known digital twin human is in a person's likeness, whether you can like clone a person's voice, clone a person's facial features, the autonomy, or down to healthcare, create a accurate replica, whether it be a 3D model or a simulation of, fluids and cells so that you can see how someone's, let's say, heart could potentially respond to a particular surgical procedure, right? So digital twins are broadening, and the understanding of digital twins are simultaneously expanding, but also kind of contracting at the same time, because there's so many more possibilities for and definitions for what a digital twin can be, and so much more to learn about digital twins every single day. We've already got a consumer grade robot that, we wouldn't necessarily call that a digital twin, but in its performance, it has some similarities for what we know digital twins to be. It can do things that humans can do, like laundry and basic tasks. In some sense, that could be considered a digital twin as well. What I'm working on is a physical twin that has the incorporation, or will have the implementation of data flow. The most important aspect of what a digital twin is how data flows through it, when data flows through it, where does the data go, and what's done with the data. Smart cities or cities have had plans, I think, to convert to a digital twin or to a smart city. And in order to do that, you don't necessarily need a physical twin of the city, like a physical model of the geometry of the buildings. But every day, new buildings and landscapes are being scanned with, photogrammetry tools, LiDAR tools. And BIM models are being built, one, either to accurate scale with accurate dimensions, accurate imperfections like bowing of walls, and two, with realistic material parameters so that simulations can be run in, AEC, architecture, engineering, construction. Aside from BIM models being created for these buildings, SIM models, not SIM, but CIM, city information models, are being created for cities. And the data from IoT sensors are being integrated into those models so that in real time you can track the flow of traffic, the weather, how clean the air is, the direction of the sunlight, the impact of, emissions, foot traffic, building capacity, you name it, water flow, road integrity. I could go on and on and on. That's a market that's probably in the tens of billions, if not hundreds of billions of dollars. It's growing fast, and I think now is the time to really get involved in that. But at a smaller scale, my focus right now is physical twins with physics twins. Now, I'm not going into something like water simulation or, cells at the atom level, but how devices operate. This could be anything from, as you see on the screen, a refrigerator, a range, to a full-size car and the mechanics of the engine, up to something that's, let's say a roller coaster or an amusement park attraction. What they can do is get the accurate physical parameters of materials and see how that material wears over time. A nut and bolt screw, for example. If they can accurately simulate the wear and tear of a nut and bolt on something like a roller coaster, then instead of waiting 4 years for a roller coaster to break down and kill potentially 2-3 people, they can simulate those 4 years in a sitting. on a computer to determine what the plan is for managing and doing the maintenance on these roller coasters or cars. That gives a lot more insight. It saves a lot of money, but it also helps decision makers make more informed choices when they go out and spend money or work with a particular set of engineers. At the smaller level, we're looking at something like appliances and furniture, furnishings, different products, cabinetry. You've got more and more companies looking to get into 3D. Practically, it's easy to talk about 3D because you can very quickly translate the dimensions of a kitchen cabinet into a 3D model and then add physics to that model, showcase how that model would look and function in the real world, and be able to make really, it's something that a lot of people can understand because everybody has had access to a kitchen cabinet at some point in their life. So it's easier to have a conversation about that. It's a lot harder to have a conversation about digital twins and as it relates to healthcare because probably less than 1% of people truly understand how the heart works, how an organ works. For me, I want to look into ways that we can monetize digital twins in places like trade shows, online catalogs, e-commerce websites, and build a community of people that can get behind helping these companies take their products and visualize them in real time. Excuse me for a second. All right, had to have a quick chat with the little guy. There's an opportunity here that's a lot more low-hanging for people that are in 3D modeling and architectural visualization. And that's why I really wanted to title this to have architectural visualization, digital twins, augmented reality. I created an experience for a company that I still have, I believe, an active NDA on. I'm going to reach out to them and see if that's lifted so that we can, so that I can showcase the work that I specifically did for them. But it was architecture related. I used an iPad to create an experience to where you can walk through and visualize from a third person or a bird's eye view, or walk through the space at 1:1 scale. It was a large facility development. Thinking about trade shows, I can use that same concept to present appliances, furnishings, smaller items, light fixtures. And I'm going to spend the next maybe 6 months to a year approaching businesses every single day, seeing which companies, usually probably like more upscale companies, might have an interest in this and they might see the use for it in marketing. But bringing physical geometry of their real world products into the engine so that we can simulate them, create realistic materials to how they're represented in real life, and then use these experiences to help them both save and make money. One of the practical examples that I was thinking of talking about in it. I talked about this in a previous stream that I just did today. Is taking, let's say large HVAC systems, reducing those systems down to, let's say the plastics or styrofoam for the sole purpose of presenting it at a trade show. But having that reduced model be the foundation, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, be the, let's say like a base for augmented additions to that model to be displayed at the trade show. So we can say there's a company that sells ranges. These ranges cost $50,000 to $150,000, if not more. $250,000, let's say, is $50,000 to $250,000. Some of the ranges are residential, some of the ranges are commercial. Imagine a company takes every single product in their catalog and takes it to a trade show. Would never happen. But instead, what they do have are TVs, tablets, pamphlets, papers, things that people can read. What we are going to see in the near future, and this isn't just with like electronics and devices, but this can also be useful for medical practices, where the devices are now living inside of Unreal Engine. The catalog is living inside of Unreal Engine. At the trade show, they don't bring anything except for a server or a workstation and 5 of the most high-end VR headsets that they can afford. In the software, they're going to tether those VR headsets to a QR code so that they can spatially position the headset inside of an environment. The QR code, let's say it's on the floor, right? It's in the corner on the floor. They scan that QR code. Each of the headsets now exist in the physical space relative to the space inside of the Unreal Engine scene. They can now position their booth in a way that there's one central platform set up, or five platforms set up lined against the wall. You've got 10 people wearing VR headsets now, and they can walk up to any one of these 5 spaces, and it's a pass-through headset, so they can see people that are standing around them. But with a depth buffer, these objects from their catalog can render behind, a person if they walk into the scene, right? So if they walk past the camera, you'll see them walk past the camera, but you'll still see those catalog items rendered behind the person on the platform. This gives trade show presenters, hosts, whatever you would call them, an opportunity now to have 5 to 10 people having their own experiences inside the headset, tethered to a screen above the I don't know, maybe not. I don't know how tethering would work, because let's say if all 5 people are looking at the same platform and there's 5 different devices being rendered on each different headset, then you can't really show that particular experience over, the platform that person is looking at if all 5 people are looking at the same platform. But what you could do is have those 10 screens randomly placed so that you can follow each individual person. That way, if they're all looking at the same platform, you can look at all those screens and you'll see a different item on each screen. And inside the VR headset, they're dissecting, they're opening this range, they're reading information about the range, they're turning the knobs, and locally they can hear the sound of the range. It could be a electronic device like a TV, where they can now see full-scale TVs that wouldn't fit in this booth, but it's now being viewed in the scene, and all the bystanders, all the the spectators are watching the screen, looking at what this person's looking at. That allows him to interact with the TV in the VR headset, turn the TV on, look around the TV, have a look at the connections, walk behind it. There's so much that you can do. And, of course, outside of the trade show, we're then talking about being able to create maintenance programs, training, educational platforms, where now, instead of the person that just got the job at the HVAC company going and dedicating all of his time at the company to learning about this large industrial equipment, he's got a VR headset that he now gets to take home, and it's, corporate locked to only operate a certain amount of software. And that software is now going to have the entire catalog of these appliances or items built into it, to where you've got this interactive experience, and it gives you the ability to now study those devices in the comfort of your home in high visual fidelity. So it's 100 different ways you can have a conversation about digital twins, what they are, how they work, how to monetize them, the benefits, and all the pros outweigh the cons. From a very low level twin of an item to a very high level twin of an ecosystem, every single variation and instance of digital twins is going to have an immense amount of significance. It could legit be a Lego. They are now going to be able to stress test and do things with simulations that they've never been able to do before. Again, going back on the example of the amusement park. If you could stress test a fully developed roller coaster, physically accurate model in one session across over 5 to 6 hours, and get data from that test that spans over 6 years, you now have the ability to create this maintenance schedule that's, it might not be absolutely perfect or accurate, but we're talking about being able to put into place things that can legitimately lower the number of deaths that happen, not just at amusement parks on rides, but in traffic. During school emergencies, when fires break out. So that's, really what I wanted to talk about today. I think this is the next big thing in 3D architecture, AEC, insert acronym here, urban development. And I think digital twin technology is, if we can get to a point in society in our lifetime where digital twin technology is advancing just as quickly as AI is, it's possible that all the work and money that people are investing into finding cures and pursuing better health can lead to creating a longer lifespan for, humans, for all living creatures, beings, plants, all life. And that's what we're looking forward to. And that's why I think today, if you're focused on, in any kind of way, digital twin technology, or at least keeping your finger on it to stay up to date When that time comes, you're going to be able to somehow get involved and potentially position yourself to monetize. That's important too, right? Monetization. That euphoric idea of like everyone being able to have access to resources all the time, I think might come after digital twin technology gets normalized across all industries. This project that I worked on over the past few months is a physical twin of our basement. And to me, it's special. Really, it's nothing special in the sense that it's just geometry, materials, and some logic to show, hide, or manipulate the geometry and materials. But at some point, I see this being in every modern home's dashboard, to where you can physically drag the screen around, see your house, and make changes to your appliances in real time. Like you got a tablet, you got a smartphone app that can manage your car. You can roll the windows up, start the car, start the ventilation, potentially even activate the cameras and pull the car out of the parking lot, right? Or out of a parking spot. Think about how you can do that on a home level with almost every piece of information and data that could drive through some sort of a smartphone app or server on your network. We're talking about taking what might start to be normalized in AEC spaces and bringing that technology into homes on the consumer level, where on your device in the winter, you can engage your heater when you're out of town. You can shut the power off to the entire house, disengage the locks, turn off the range, have the robot that you purchased empty the refrigerator so that you don't have mold growing in your refrigerator, empty the trash so that all the trash gets taken out while you're on vacation. But I'm thinking more along the lines of things like water flow and IoT sensors that can allow for you to get notified when a pipe is starting to freeze. In the event that something like that happens, water flow is slowing down, the temperature is fluctuating, and it's showing that the water is kind of reaching freezing levels. Nobody's home to turn the water off at the road. The pro to that is that you can fully manage your house and save yourself a lot of money and really optimize for utilities. The con to that on every level is that utility companies can see that as an opportunity to micromanage you, to install things at the street level or at the city level, to then be able to manage who gets water flow into their home, when. Hey, Zep. Excuse me for just a quick second. So a lot of people are afraid of how companies will have access to data. That's what this is all about. Cities are converting to smart cities because they wanted to enable digital twin technology so that they can not only see the flow of data, the flow of people, the movement of information, but so that they can manage, control, and sell it.
How do you move?
that's where digital twin technology is going, but it doesn't always have to be so what's the word I'm looking for? I want to say dynamic, but binary. It's not always just good and bad, but that good and bad is something to think about. There's going to be a flip side to the positives. I have no idea. Maybe you press select, maybe you use the buttons down there. Instead of the controller, try the D-pad. No, the D-pad. D-pad on your controller. See if you see what I mean? Okay. Yeah, there are always going to be pros and cons. There are always going to be someone that's trying that will try to take up a large portion of a market and use that for their own benefit. There's kind of no getting around that, but I think if we can beat corporations to the punch, we can probably build in this publicized format to where all that flow of information is not all of it, but the majority of the flow of information is public, except for what is indeed private. And it's hard to like quantify that, because if you don't own your home and you're paying a mortgage company, you're paying mortgage, like technically the bank could own that information if they were to sell you, if you were to purchase a digital twin alongside the purchase of the purchase of a property from some agency. Complicated, like, you know, when we start getting into that. Of course, there's HIPAA compliance for the medical side of that, which I think that kind of already has people covered under HIPAA compliance when it comes to anything digital, twin likeness, health related per the individual. But you know, you're paying for a car, and you're paying a car note, and you're paying insurance, and then there's this digital twin technology that gets integrated in your car with IoT sensors. You think that this is for you to be able to like manage your car, see where you park, to be able to know when a window gets busted out. But all that information, you know, let's say BMW integrates digital twin technology where it's connected to the entire vehicle. They can work with the federal government to be able to grant them access to disable that car if you're in a high-speed chase, or sell the information about your window getting busted out to the police department. Right. So I would love to hear your feedback on this. I'm going to have my notifications turned on. I'm live on Twitch, Facebook, and Instagram. I decided not to go Twitch, YouTube, and Instagram. Decided not to go live on Facebook because on Restream I can only do 3 platforms at a time. Thought Instagram would be a lot more engaging, but I think I did mess up the chat or the stream a little bit when turning on and off my channels while OBS was broadcasting, but that's okay. Come back and take a look at this video. If you're watching now or did watch through this, leave a comment and send me a direct message. Let's start a conversation. Go into subreddit Digital Twin and get involved with the conversations that are happening in there throughout all these different industries, and kind of just, you know, start keeping watch at how the industry is going to perpetually change, and what different parts of the industry people are going to start, you know, providing their value to. It's hard to quantify and have these conversations across the board because some people will look at digital twins and think about the molecular level of, you know, let's say healthcare. Some people will think about digital twins as a digital replica of a physical piece of healthcare machinery. Some people will think about digital twins as data that goes through a hospital and how that data is weighed against the data that's going through an entire city for a smart city, Smart cities might be able to pick up on when people are coughing at any particular location, what people are injured at any given time, and the data from hotspots might be sold to medical facilities. All these different streams of information will then be leveraged against each other, or potentially, so that the people in the medical field who are doctors, and the people who own the medical facility, and the people who are selling medical devices, as well as the people who are selling certain drugs to these facilities, the exchange of hands for the data is what I think is going to be the biggest challenge, and how people might micromanage that data. Hey, Zeppelin, I don't think you can do anything about that. Somebody's got to figure out how to move that box or something. Was that box moved? How did he get up there? He went backwards and jumped off the box. So he jumped off the box and then he turned himself around, maybe. Yeah, you gotta hold the controller right. I welcome you to ask me questions in the chat. Let me help him just real quick. Let me see it. You're gonna have to start trying to figure this stuff out. Someone. All right, see how I did that? How I moved the box? Now you can figure it out now, right? That's the scariest thing. That's the scariest thing about advertising, the scariest thing about AI, the scariest thing about social media, right? Is how they're going to access and handle your data. Google, I think, has a little bit of a lead on how data can be used for digital twin technology, because they have implemented computer vision in Google for the absolute longest time. They changed their code several years ago to hide. Excuse me for a minute. All right. So, I'm covering a wide range of topics, and I don't want to go into a lot of detail, let's say, about healthcare. I have gone into a little detail about, like, appliances and physical models and architecture. But long story short, there's a significant amount of money. There's a significant amount of savings. There's a significant amount of optimization and user experience embedded into what digital twin technology really stands for. One of the first instances of digital twins or implementations of the technology was NASA's simulations. It's like, why don't we build a digital model? Doesn't have to be like a 3D spaceship, but we can understand the mathematics of the data for how turbines and rockets respond to gravity and air density and temperature. And we can get an accurate measurement of temperature with air balloons and all these other satellites and other devices. And we can plug all that information into an algorithm, a machine learning software, a computer, a graphics processor. And we can measure. Good job, buddy. Are you proud? We can measure the performance of a physical ship, and we can check the temperature at different intervals and the outflow of fuel, and the pressure inside the cabin, etc. At given distances in the sky or whatever you have you. And then we can apply the information about the materials to the digital model, and then see if, when running a simulation to reflect the path of the real ship in this digital way, are the readings going to be similar? Is the outcome and the information that flows through this digital model going to be accurate compared to what happened in real life, the real life flight?
You know what this is called?
Red ball.
How did you know?
And when you stress test like an aircraft to the point that it breaks, and then you go and analyze the breakage, the damage, how it broke, where it broke, when it broke, why it broke, and then reverse engineer that situation in a digital format, whether it be with a 3D model or not, and you get that digital model to a place where the simulation can accurately reproduce the results, you now have a digital twin that you can use to run simulations for events that have yet to take place, or events that took place in the past, to then go back to see what the potential cause to a previous disaster was. Now you have this way that you can proactively eliminate future catastrophes by testing various weather states, you name it. The amount of money that companies will pay for that information or that software, and the amount of money they will save, and the amount of lives and the amount of insurance that they will no longer need to purchase, because their track record is, their efficiency is so much higher. And the amount of savings for the consumer, who is getting on a roller coaster or a monorail or a Ferris wheel, right? because they no longer have to spend premiums on insurance based on the fact that fewer people are dying in these instances. That's how powerful digital twins are about to be. Add AI in the mix on top of that, and as hard as it might be to believe that in our lifetime we will see this somewhat outpouring of pride for the fact that we're moving more perpetually towards a utopia, like the likelihood of that happening becomes significantly higher. That if you're in your 30s, 40s now, it could be 25 years that elapses between now and the day that digital twin and AI technology is almost obligating the world to change for the better. Like, things will stop working if humans don't stop doing X, Y, and Z, because this technology has gotten smart enough to hack into the system and prevent these things from happening. It's no longer just about the physical model anymore. This thing has a brain. A digital twin is going to become actual brains of things, and the way that we think will be able to be replicated to where predictions might actually become more accurate. I predict that tomorrow this wreck is going to happen because X, Y, and Z. You know, it's a little out there. It's a little crazy. But I predict that in a few days, this bridge is could collapse if this one bolt doesn't get replaced, and if this one, sheet of metal doesn't get re-welded in place or reinforced. So, really fun conversation to have. I figured I would go live and talk to some people about it, but I think I missed my window of, that, or the fact that I went live, ended my stream, and went live immediately again. Could have something to do with that, but I'm open to picking up on this conversation for anybody that comments after the live stream is over. I will definitely come back and I will gladly engage with you. And I think we should have more of these. I want to get a couple of the community members to do some AMAs and start talking specifically about their industry. And this is something I'm going to set up, is to have a community of people who are professionals across different industries to start having these conversations together, so that we can build that overlap sooner than later, instead of waiting for medical industry to peak and then deciding to get the medical industry involved in architecture and whatnot. Obviously, we got to get to a point first where every industry is kind of streamlined in understanding how digital twin technology can get them to their most efficient state. But I think it's never too early to start thinking about how overlaps can happen. Anyways, that's it for the stream today. I would love to continue this conversation on Reddit. I'm really appreciative of all the people who are engaging and having conversations that are industry specific in there right now. But I have a plan to get more of the community involved in these conversations, so that we can, at least once a month, get some insight in what's happening in real time across the board. Talk to you next time.